And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 22nd episode of the Crypto Bull. My name is Dimitri from Gracious Interests. In today's episode, we are going to analyze the privacy coin called OXEN. Now, this has been more or less chosen through interaction with my crowd. Well, most of you who follow me on Twitter know that I frequently post a variety of lessons of information concerning crypto and blockchain. On this one, as you can see on screen, was talking about privacy coins and answering the question, how private are privacy coins? So if you guys are interested, pause a little bit the video, read through the text, and read a bit of my remarks. Received an answer from Fritz M. Wagner. More secure or more difficult to trace the origin of funds, not privacy, impossible to trace with it. It is its own session app, private messenger. So to me, this came over as a bit of a scammy marketing response. However, I barged in and said, well, okay, look, did a quick look, not convincing project, looks like a Monero clone, and does decide to build additional features. And then he answers, since you are not looking on Session App or lokinet.org, of course we took a look from Monero, blah, 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 blah. And to make heed of my promise, the 25th of June, so last week, I said, okay, we will be doing a live stream of OXEN. So here we are. So how do I go about it? Well, I'm going to visit CoinGecko and simply type in OXEN. I see it's being ranked here number 407 based on market cap. Seemingly it's a low value coin with a tremendous downside in the last 24 hours. I'm going to quickly see if it's something. Nope. So the entire market is in green, nicely growing. So this implies to me project itself is going down. So contrary to the market, generally that's a good sign. However, this minus 13.7% isn't really a nice sign. However, what can I tell here? ERC20 version of OXEN is also available as wrapped OXEN. Contract address, Loki's rebranding to OXEN, refer to. Rebrand rollout. So it was associated with Loki token, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to quickly look it up here. It isn't even available on Loki network. I'm going to take a quick peek. Loki is rebranding to become OXEN. So its old name was Loki and it was an ERC20 token. Okay. But we will be talking about OXEN. Anyway, let's continue. What do I see here? Well, except for the price indication, rank 407. It has dedicated website. Its white paper is immediately available in the hopes, yeah, seemingly it is. So that's a good sign. Implies a certain amount of openness. Medium article. Explorers, OXEN and Etherscan. So I'm going to assume it's still an ERC20 token. By reason the Explorer will does the Etherscan and then there's OXEN. I'm going to take a quick peek. Active the commission service nodes. So they are in a transitional phase, it seems. So probably launched their very own blockchain. Not much going on here. Okay. I can seem to the previous page 3 hours ago. Next. There we go, that's max. So from what I can tell, they launched their own blockchain, but well integrated it from the Etherscan, so both are available. That's what I'm assuming. Don't know yet, but That gives me the impression. Variety of social communities. We'll be looking that up later on. Tags, business platform, masternodes, privacy coins. So I got it. It had to do with privacy and that it was a privacy coin, of course, and a business platform. That generally implies it's going to be something like a developers platform orientated towards businesses. Not the first time I'm seeing something like this. I try to remain as neutral as possible. However, I can immediately tell. Put on this one. Yeah, normally I'm speaking loud enough, but you guys should still be able to hear me. So, business platform. Generally, it's for development, but yeah, through experience, I know that business platform doesn't bode all too well. It's oriented towards businesses, and it's a very limited niche. Very few projects survive with that kind of focus. Well, let's continue. Let's continue. I like to talk about the historical graphs. So from what I can tell here, earlier today they were at about $1, but price crashed down heavily. It's 30th of June. Yeah, okay, it was yesterday. Naturally, I'm more inclined to look up its entire historical run. And from what I can see here, except that during the bull run of 2017-2018, few peaks here, crashed, came up again. So, first things first, good sign. It seems to have its own, well, market trend. It doesn't follow the popular market trends, which is a very good sign. Implies it's a project which is self-standing, that it is based on merit. However, there is some market influence here, and the general trend is still in an uptick. I'm going to make my screen bigger here. So general trend is in an uptick, but yeah, I'm not entirely trustful of it because there's a lot peak, crash down, peak, crash down, peak, crash down, peak, crash down, and I can't seem to find any decent reason why it reacts as such. Up here, July 20, that's July 20. So where the market was going in an uptick normally, well, the entire market, these guys went down, climbed up steep in November, crashed down again, steep, crashed down again, steep, so quite volatile. And well, it seems to me there's frequent pushes, well, sell-offs, frequent pumps and dumps, it seems. A bit weird. Yeah, I've got to say, it's weird seeing it like this. General uptick, sure. Assuming this one's going to further crash down, so that's on yearly basis. That's a bit of a year basis, 3 months basis, monthly basis. Yeah, you can quite frankly see here it's going down quite steeply here even. So what can I tell about its current value, its market movements? I'm not so sure about it. It doesn't convince me. It's not really. Well, I'm going to say I will remain neutral here. There's a few weird flexes going on during its entire run. It might have something to do with the development and, well, its setup. So you never know. However, as an investor, seeing this run doesn't really convince me. It goes against the market, but at the same time, it has a lot of volatility here, and it seems as if some guys are holding decent amount in reserve, and when there's gains to be made, they quickly sell off en masse and simply reap up the cash before re-entering it and making new gains. It's weird. I'm used to seeing volatility in graphs, but not this kind. So there's a lot of uncertainty, it seems. Well, let's continue. Mostly available on KuCoin and Bittrex. Okay, go away. OXEN coin price and market. Okay, that one's important. For trading volume, circulating supply of 55 million OXEN coins. Max supply of infinite. I do not like to see that one. Decent crypto projects should have a limited market cap. It increases scarcity and rarity on the long term and enables it to reach higher values. The max supply of infinity means it's inflationary in nature. It's the same weakness as Dogecoin. So that's not a very good factor to me, naturally. However, you can make a coin or token infinite in amount and actually make a decent project of it if there is, well, somewhere implemented a regular burning of the coins so that, well, its value remains more or less stable. And from what I am going to assume, taking this piece of information and looking at the graphs here, it would seem there's a regular burn going on, which might indicate the runs. Not entirely sure. We'll have to see during this technical analysis, but it would partially explain the high volatility here. And if it is to have the more or less stable value, well, not doing a very great job at that point. So what is it about? Combines cutting-edge privacy and decentralization software stack with both vision both future of private anonymous transactions. So privacy coin, okay. Community-run network of staked incentivized OXEN service nodes powers the OXEN blockchain and OXEN privacy token. This implies it's running on a proof of stake, and the magic word here is staked. Lots of revolutionary applications are already using OXEN service node network session, decentralized encrypted messenger, and looking at powerful next generation onion router. So yeah, for those not familiar, the onion router or onion network, well, it has to do with privacy and not leaving a trail when browsing the web. That's basically it is. It's by rerouting your search history or search data through a variety of browsers through a network that remain entirely anonymous. That's what an onion router does, or, well, compare it to the Tor browser, if you guys know about it. I'm going to take a look at websites because not much information here. What do we have? I'm going to quickly reload to see how. Okay, it loads quite fast. That's a good sign. Means the website is being kept up to date. However, what I do want to tell is the website looks very, very basic. Can have its appeal, but yeah, it's not as sleek as you'd expect. However, might be something fine. Flip airdrop. Okay, here. What is OXEN? So that's what we saw. Pulse proof of stake implementation as expected. Next option, stakeable, foundational adoption network. Privacy on cell, including session or end-to-end encrypted anonymous messaging. I'm looking at a low latency onion route for private browsing. All both interconnected, probably. I'm going to take a quick look at Lokinet and session. Anonymous internet access, browse privately, block surveillance, discover private websites, so you can download it, okay. I don't really need it. I'm making use of the Brave browser, which has the same functionality as you can see here. No private window with Tor, so I'm pulling it through the Tor network. Stake nodes, nobody can shut it down, nobody can spy news. So basically they're saying, well, we developed an application, decentralized, etc., and censorship resistant. So basically, yeah, they only created their own network. Well, only will take some time, but it's nothing I'm too impressed about. Especially considering, well, I'm making use of Brave browser with its attached token, the basic attention token, so that's about the same functionality here. So it's a worthy alternative, presumably. Um, Sole difference with Brave being they focusing mostly on, well, marketing when it concerns surfing the internet. If I open up a new tab here, you can see here the amount of tracker and ads blocked, time saved, bandwidth saved. Yeah, those are the Brave rewards I'm receiving. Um, it's really about marketing. If I refresh a few times, you see there's some pop-up, well, publicity. I can click on it, put it down, put it back up, and you see that my Brave rewards have increased. So it has to do with marketing in this instance. This is something alike, but probably not with the rewards that Brave offers. So yeah, but that's an interesting alternative. Not going to look all too deep into it, by reason I'm focusing on OXEN, but seems like a decent application for making use of the OXEN network. Session seems to be a WhatsApp alternative. I like it. Nothing else to add to it. So, from what I can tell, it seems to be a WhatsApp, I'm not going to say clone, but alternative, maybe a Telegram alternative even, which makes use of the low net, so of the decentralized network. Can be interesting. I'm certainly going to keep it in the back of my mind that this one exists, but I'm going to look deeper into it, not in this session, but later on. People can ask me questions about it later on after this live stream, because my main focus on the OXEN token. This looks very interesting, but I'm going to have to look deeper if there are no hidden breaches or failures or corrupted data whereby people can actually see the data and that it isn't as private as they thought it to be. There's a lot of paper missing. No metadata leakage. Should be without metadata leakage. But you never know. Anyway, that's the white paper. So with the two applications, I dare say it's interesting. Well, the two applications in any case, OXEN still remains to prove its merit to me. Compromise instant transaction to its network. Can I learn more? It seems this is docs.oxen, so yeah. To end user products released with various. No. Okay, session I'm looking at are associated with the OXEN network, so they are built upon it. So everything depends on how solid OXEN is and its data. Nicole, yes, when you're on Zoom, I suggest you join Telegram or WhatsApp. For blockchain community to deploy them. Run by OXEN, Brave, sure. Yeah, it's a little bit touting the own horn here. I'm not going to say it's impressive, but it's interesting. I'm not entirely convinced. Buy OXEN. Plenty of things that make OXEN attractive as to hold. It's there to buy, hold, and stake OXEN. It's powerful. It's more than just instant enormous stakeable crypto. Let's do and service on the OXEN network. Okay, so it is some kind of governance token because it makes use of the proof of stake consensus protocol. And install messages and all identifiers. So both ends have encryption going on between users. No phone numbers or other identifiers, which makes me curious how they do so. Yeah, sorry, those are the neighbors. Session users will be able to burn OXEN to buy in app feature and upgrades like permanent usernames. Mail route, okay, it's stakeable. Why staked? Private, fast, it's too long and read. Nothing new. How do I stake it? It's OXEN, truly private conversations. They mainly talk about the applications built on it, and OXEN being more or less a governance token, from what I can tell. Yeah, I'm scrolling through here. If you guys think seeing something new or interesting, simply pause and read. I'm doing a little bit of quick reading here, but there's nothing all too interesting here, which piques my curiosity. Oof, got some difficulty there. Service node rewards, service node network. Hold on a second. How did they should really organize this a little bit. So service node network, reporting, Ublink, Pulse POS system, okay, OXEN name service, ledger wallet integration plant. So yeah, organize this one a little bit, please. It's really confusing. Session protocol implementation, account restoration overall. Okay, good audit, proof of work removal. .aware, POS. Anyway, conversation screen, user interface overhaul, looking at integration, voice calls, BTP, push notifications, okay. So it's in full development. I hope it gets reflected. Make secure instant anonymous transactions, taking to. So I'm going to assume I'm not going to download the application, but you will be needing OXEN to make use of the session application. I'm a bit afraid for that one by reason, well, I used to be on BitCloud, which was a Twitter alternative. And I thought, like Twitter, yeah, I can send out as many tweets as I want. It makes use of blockchain technology. It's also decentralized. However, it seems I had received, and that wasn't very clear, a certain amount of BitCloud, whereby I could send tweets, do retweets, give likes, etc. As soon as that wallet, well, that reserve was expanded, I couldn't do anything on that platform. And the only way to continue doing so was actually uploading Bitcoin once again to reload my wallet, have it transformed into BitCloud, which allows me to continue operating on the system. So I'm going to make an official retracement here. Back in the day, I was positive about BitCloud. However, after having taken some experience with it in a few weeks' time, I quickly noticed the downsides of the platform. And seeing this here with OXEN, I believe this is going to be the same joke running, and that you will eventually be paying to make use of their services, and that that there's a certain amount of money paid. And this might actually explain why the graph is as such, that each time it is hyped, new members come in, exchange, and when their Bitcoin is being used or whatever other token they used to switch to OXEN, hit a limit, and well, they couldn't operate it anymore. So I'm a bit afraid of that. Also swap your C token re-option to available on Uniswap. Okay. Infinite emission still offset by robust token burning scheme. As I expected, remember earlier in this video where I said concerning its historical value that I see quite frequently here high volatility and sudden surges and sudden runs, like here, sudden run, very short amount of time. And I did say, well, watch out with it. I'm probably assuming there's a burning scheme, so this actually confirms my suspicions. So it's with indefinite emission is always a challenge, but only backed by a comprehensive token burning scheme, including burning transaction fees used to purchase usernames. and more is on docs and docs. Yeah, okay, so there's an entire economy surrounding it, which makes me very wary if I want to invest in cryptocurrency. Well, it's a good sign if it has an unlimited market cap that there is a robust burning scheme, but this opens up that it needs to be checked if the wallet that is being used to burn the tokens is actually a closed private one whereby the keys were, well, thrown away. So that needs to be explored much deeper. So I dare say burning is a good move, but I'm not entirely convinced that it needs some deeper technical analysis here. Perhaps I might do it depending on my schedule. So anyway, not really only need 50,000 OXENs, taking a prompt on about to host a service node. Yeah, it's about staking. You get a reward for staking your OXEN. Each node receives every 2 minutes. Around 2,700 nodes on the network, which works out to each node receiving reward approximately every 57 hours. Yeah, that's big. That's a big number. Well, especially if you extrapolate it to the future. I'm going to look up blog. Okay, I'm not going to watch all too closely on the titles, however this one stands out, so I want to take a look at it. I'm mainly looking at the updates here. 17th of June, 4th of June, 2nd of June, 19th of May. So I dare say blog is regularly updated. Dev updates. There's weekly updates. Devs are awake and doing their thing. That one leads to the bridge. That's the docs. So that one, token economics. This said, I'm going to take a quick peek here. Taking as much outload on airline scene because most routine interactions with docs and network running. So 0.05. So in here they explain how it works. Transaction service notes. Can't seem to immediately find. There we go. So that's the amount being burned. Piece. Size lock token. Hang on a second. Circulating supply may exclude any currently set block, otherwise it is equal to equal minus burnt coins. Fees includes pay transaction fees. Okay. Can't seem to access the burnt address here. Might find out later on, but there is a burning going on, which is fine. Okay. So that one needs to be looked at in detail. It's a bit of a shame they're not more open about it, that I can actually click and see the burnt address. Well, the address where the burnt tokens are going to. It's a bit of a hassle. Burn schedule. Once a month, okay, on each burn day there will be a bonfire full of. Okay. That's how they are going to do it. Supply. Oof. Okay, service nodes, survival and accessory monetization plan. Okay, the only thing here that requires trust is the burn address. So they're open when it occurs and how much it will be, but yeah, can't seem to immediately find the address. So For future reference, at this point I'm going to remain neutral about it, but to make sure it's a positive point and not a negative one, the burn address must be looked at and verified and seen if there's no outgoing transactions from it. Because if that's the case, it implies the burning isn't really taking place. The developers are paying themselves. I've seen it with a multitude of scam projects. So yeah, I'm not going to talk more about it, but be wary of it. Verify that one. Loki white paper. Our proof of work, proof of service system of the unique way. So it used to be both. Basic parameters, difficulty every 2 minutes. Zolgiloma, okay. Cryptic crypto nodes, ring signatures. Ring signatures, etc. remind me of the Monero cryptocurrency. And a little bit, I'm going to show it here. That looks more like additional Monero clone. Because we take a lot from Monero and then add new functions to achieve private message and new generation. So they basically, for the creation of, Loki or OXEN, based themselves off Monero. And afterwards they added can't find my word here, the possibility, the additional function of having OXEN being made to use on Session and LokiNet. That's basically what it is, because from what I can tell, it is practically an almost carbon copy of Monero from what I've seen. Not going to open it up, but if you guys look up the white paper of Monero, you will see what's going on. And yeah, of course, it's ASIC resistant. It's quite natural if you're making use of proof of stake. There's no real calculating going on. So yeah, mostly positive point here. White paper is immediately available, so you guys can look it up at your own leisure, look it up a little bit what it's all about, learn a few things here. So yeah. What I did forgot to mention was also the amount of time it existed here, and it's being listed. I see May 15, 2018. So it falls within my 2 to 3 years range of existence for a coin to invest in, which is positive, by the way. Just putting that on the side. Generally, I do not invest in tokens and coins being created in the last several months or in the last several months or weeks even. So this might be a viable project based on date. However, I'm not getting all too convinced here on what I'm seeing. With an OXEN feature of digital communication, say that is a new oil, price is gold. Okay, so that's basically all the blocks here. They posted back on their main site, but rolled about in Medium in a Medium article. What I do want to know is who the developers are. That's something which is quite frankly missing. So weekly development, sure. But where's the team? Where are they? So yeah, team seems to be relatively hidden. I see 3 people here, so those must be developers. Perhaps some support. Bit of a shame, can't seem to find the developers. But does it tell me, well, if I can find the developers and check out their social media, it gives additional credit to the project itself. it's severely lacking, and that's actually a minus point here, which makes me more distrustful of the project as a whole by reason I want to know and reach out to someone if I'm experiencing trouble, and especially if you pride yourself on, well, being a network whereby private messaging stands tall. I want to see the developers. I want to have a reach out to make sure that I can, well, pose all my questions and not have some anonymous faces and people somewhere developing everything. I want to find out, and I want someone to reach out to. So that's a negative point, especially for something which is, as mentioned here on CoinGecko, a business platform and business orientated. Those are minus points. This one done. Yeah, sorry. Those are the questions I received today. Still need to answer them. So it's Loki network. Take a quick peek at the Loki network. Perhaps. There we go. Now we have a theme. Guys, please continue it on the website of OXEN, please. So that's the executive team, sessions development team, Loki and development team. You know what I like to do? Well, it's nicely organized. That's something I do not see all too frequently, but get in, get in, get in. Those guys are on GitHub, can't seem to find them. Ay, ay, ay. There we go. Let's go to Twitter. Content writer. I'm curious. Operations. So I've got opened up a few pages here, and I want to see associations. This one checks out. This one doesn't. Yeah, with the previous one, I'm also with this one slightly wary. Profile isn't really updated, well, apart from this one here. But it looks like a fabricated one. Please update your profile picture here. Positive CMO at OXEN. So this one checks out. And also checking the dates here. CEO at Loki. So yeah, Loki is since 2017. From OXEN. Okay. Okay, dates check out. Yeah, it's sometimes in the details. If I saw a discrepancy and I saw co-creator, co-founder, well, I'm sorry enough, but this guy also seems to check out. Oh yeah, he had. Okay. Bit weird for a marketing guy. But hey, it's marketing, right? Retweets OXEN, so yeah, he's pretty much involved. Involved there. Checks out. Head of content. Okay, it's a side job he does. So I'm going to say it checks out. That's a valid profile. Senior Constop info of the hotel. Whitfield. Where should go? Is associated, but doesn't seem to be really that much associated. Well, a few tweets, but maybe more out of desperation. Yeah. Okay. Constop, those guys are the same. Operation support. And I stopped with it. If he stops, get him out of the team, guys. So it more or less checks out, but movements has occurred, and well, Okay, it checks out. There are people behind it, though I'm not really under the impression it is as active as it should be. Let's continue. I'm going to do a quick scroll to the communities: Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, and those guys. Source code is available on GitHub. That's a good sign. Lucky cryptocurrency is now OXEN, so they're making the transition. Cool. Problem here to get it installed. Problem with the session. I'm going to use my own circles and snaps. Sure. Instability. What's the best way to buy OXEN in Canada? Little meme. Okay, it's nice. Big move today. Yeah, I wasn't really looking at. Yeah, Reddit seems to be quite dead even a few months ago, so a movement has occurred, but seems there have been quite a lot of problems. So Reddit is quite dead, it seems. They're from the future, okay. Right, decentralized, introducing the OXEN nice. Ox, probably the guy that made a comment on my private tweet was aiming for something like that. Where's the time to read? CTO face-to-face seminar for we've been working over the last 7 days, 3 hours ago. Okay, so there's an update. That's a nasty stability bug, so there's development updates, so that's fine. I did not check. Always checking out amount of followers and the amount of interactions. Okay, 27 likes, 10 likes. 11 hours ago, 28. It's borderline. Wouldn't be surprised if a certain amount were bots being associated with the account, but I dare say for such a big account, it checks out more or less gut feeling. 49, it's better. I've got the impression they are on the decline a little bit here. So, okay, Twitter is still active, might be a good source of information. Surprised to see Facebook, sorry, that's my girlfriend. His experiment has doubled in size in server area with continuous users. So session is taking off, which is good, guys. Some Facebook, not much interaction here. But it's a page, Telegram channel, on the desktop. 12:20. 12:08 and 43, so quite a calm one. Close it once again. Loki, that's the blog posts on the Loki network. Updates have halted here, so they did a transition towards OXEN itself. However, yeah, they should integrate it. There's quite some work to be done, but everything moved to OXEN, so they're a bit in a transition, but it seems the guys are getting stuck and there isn't much movement going on. So I'm afraid the project is quite frankly dying a little bit. Or else the session application is taking up so much work and that work on anything else is really slowing down, dying down. That's on Blockchain Talks. Is it November 22? May 23 is a few months ago. Indeed, not only new tweet on the Blockchain Talk for Bitcoin Talk forums, but at overall, it's a big part of OXEN itself, the entire Loki network. So if you are going to do the change and merge the two together, shared history should be associated and be made clear. At this point, it's really, really weird to see it going on. It seems as if they launched an application, make use of the network, and let it cash in and leave it on its own. In a certain sense, yeah, but a little bit of interaction, a little bit more of development should be going on, not so much in fixing bugs which exist, which I saw in the Reddit tweets, but more active interaction and updating websites, etc. So yeah, I'm going to round it up here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, see if there's nothing in chat. So what can I tell about OXEN, previously known as the Loki network? Well, the most interesting parts are, well, the session application, which seems to be an alternative to WhatsApp and Telegram, making use of end-to-end encryption. OXEN in itself is a privacy coin. However, the main focus on being used as a privacy coin seems to be made slightly redundant and more or less used as a governance token for making use on their application, the session app, more to be more precise. So, yeah, doesn't really convince me. However, there is solid groundwork that stands behind OXEN, I dare say. There's an established network, it's decentralized. The negative aspect of having infinite amount of tokens is being countered by regular burnings, scheduled burnings, which started since the beginning of this month, so June 2021. So 1st of June was the first burning, and 6 burnings have occurred. What needs to be checked out still is if the burning address has no outgoing transactions. This to make sure that the wallet itself indeed is, well, has got no private keys and no one has access to it. By reason, if you have a burn account, well, tokens are sent to it and remain idle there forever. No one can access it, so no outgoing transactions should be able. The second that the private keys are still in the hands of a developer, it implies the entire network is at stake here and that it might fail. Investment worthy, I'm going to remain neutral. It failed me a little bit to be convinced. I wouldn't jump on it, but the application, the session application, does look interesting. So I might be looking more in depth to it, see what it's all about, and see if there's no, well, privacy holes, no problems with the application itself. However, my quick looking at the various subreddit posts concerning the Sessions app, well, implied there were a lot of bugs and a lot of troubles going on. So we will have to see about the, how to say it, well, about good use of the project itself. Like I said, it has some decent foundations, but I am not convinced. There are quite a few bugs, quite a few holes, and well, a little bit lack of development effort. It seems only a few developers are busy with the project itself, mainly fixing bugs on the Session app and keeping track a little bit of the Loki network upon which OXEN is, OXEN is actually a renaming of the Loki network. I have to put it that way. So the only thing developers are doing is really focusing on the Session app, less on OXEN, which is the governance token, which should be working fine, but yeah, there's some kind of interruption there. Something which I do not all too much like to see. So it fails to convince me. I have to admit, it is slightly more impressive than I thought and that I let go on in my Twitter response. However, I'm going to double down and say, well, the Loki network, or OXEN, is nothing more, especially reading the white paper, as a Monero clone, but it has a forgiving factor, mainly being the Session application making use of the network. So that's a positive point, but to me, not entirely too convincing, because I saw within reading through the website some similarities with the setup of BitCloud. And like I said in this live stream with BitCloud, everything seemed to work very fine until I noticed that there was a hidden reserve of BitCloud reserved for users, and the only way to continue making use of the application they've built was to actually sell your Bitcoin so you could, well, continue making use of it. And from what I could tell, the same thing is going to apply here with the Sessions application, which makes it to me much less interesting. Now, people might say, yeah, you're a cheapo for not wanting to invest in such an application. But on the other hand, I'm not really inclined to pay for a service which probably has part of my data, and whereby other viable alternatives exist for free and do the job as well as they do, and with a lot less of bugs. And I'm going to refer to Telegram here, which still has end-to-end encryption going on. So it leaves me to be convinced yet. Perhaps if the developers continue within a few years, perhaps it might grow into something big, something nice. But at this point in time, I'm going to give it a pass. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this live stream. Hope you guys learned something new about it. For questions and remarks, feel free to DM me. Feel free to reach out. I'll try to answer as fast as possible. However, in last couple of weeks, gaining quite some traction on Twitter and through various social media, on Quora even, that I do not always have the time to respond to anyone in short notice. So apologies for it. Anyway, this was Dimitri from Gracious Interest. Thank you guys for watching, and up until next time, bye.